spend some time with the dead.
On demand almost. We'd be like, hey, can you like touch the duck or make it go off? And it would just start lighting up and going crazy.
Why should we be afraid of you?
Hello and welcome to What Goes Bump Tonight. I'm your host, Riley Clark, and alongside me, as always, is
Trevor Jensen.
And unfortunately, our guest tonight, Nubs, is sick, so he is
that kind of sick.
yeah, so he can't make it tonight. So we have decided that we are going to just hang out with y'all, talk about some stuff that we have planned for the show in the future. Of course, touch bases with Trevor on his production of Ohio's most haunted elementary school, Poasttown Elementary, coming out on Sunday at 8 p.m.
It's done. It's ready. It's good. But yeah. And then not only that, I think it does deserve at least a mention that before this live, for 45 minutes, I think we talked about how we were going to churn butter and then make What Goes Bump in the Night butter a thing. So that is also what's been happening.
We did. We came up with What Goes Bump Butter, nothing better. So
that's just one of the many beautiful ideas that have been cooking. I don't know if that's like the flagship idea, but
yeah. But we also have two other investigations in the vault right now that are being worked on. So be on the lookout for that. You already know one, that's the Olympia bookstore. And because of the Bumpies teaser that we released not too long ago, you know we were at Lake Forest Cemetery in Grand Haven very recently.
The words just didn't come.
I need to get some Dr. Pepper
liquid. Have we discussed the Lake Forest encounter too at the end of the investigation yet?
We briefly talked about it.
We briefly talked about it. Okay. I didn't know if we had mentioned it or not. That was seriously one of the most interesting conversations I've ever had with an officer at the end of investigating ever.
Yeah, that was literally like, you guys can stay in the cemetery longer if you want.
Yeah, I'd like to know if any other investigators in the chat or like later on in the comments section, like, have you ever encountered an officer after hours in a cemetery where he goes, I like this stuff. I believe in it. Have you seen anything in here tonight? I haven't yet. Go ahead and investigate longer if you want to. Just don't park your car in here.
Yeah.
Dope.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have a lot of great things planned up. Ghost-orama coming up in May, of course. So
yeah, that's soon too, like soon approaching May.
Yeah.
And that
May
is at
11th at the Bell Mansion. So you'll be able to meet us. I'm pretty sure those dudes will be there. Tommy Tombstone, Randy's Real, I believe. Blood
I think
Moon,
90% of the chat
be there. Pretty much all y'all will be there. So we will see you there just in a couple weeks. Can't wait. It's going to be super, super exciting. So lots of good things coming up, as well as a whole list of awesome guests.
Yeah,
in May.
A flurry of I almost said guests. You got me on that I can't talk train today too.
Yeah. So, and of course the Bumpies that will be pretty much finishing off the month of May with. So we also have one other thing we need to get off our chest, and we hope you guys might be excited about it. We are very excited about it. Throughout the summer, we're going to be experimenting with some short entertainment horror films, so to speak. Like,
yeah, we want some feedback.
Let us know what you kind of think of that. They're going to be like creepypasta based, and just to give you an idea of what the stories are going to be like, the first one is going to start off with like a camera like facing the dirt with something getting dragged by it, and it's going to lead into what happened to that person and why they're being dragged away. So
let's just say, if you like the Blair Witch found film style, like, prepare for that. And then we also have enjoyed many a time fucking around with cameras and the equipment that we have. So what better way to get better at filming than to put your mind to it and get more creative with it? I'm fucking here for it. I mean, look at Rick and Billy, man. They're part of the network. And they're fucking cooking fire.
So yeah, that's something that we've actually been talking about for like over a year, and we're gonna finally like put it to motion this year. We have a
Mm,
solid idea that we think we can film and actually get done, and it's gonna be really awesome. It's gonna be spooky, and I'm not gonna kind of. That's all we're really gonna tell you, I think, because how it's gonna get released and everything is gonna be. I don't. I don't think we
yeah.
should say
Just
because
stay
it's gonna
tuned for
be.
the updates. Like they'll be rolling out soon. I realistically think that like within the next month or two, we should have some product put to paper for you guys. That's for show.
So, like we said at the beginning of the
Mhm.
show, and we've alluded to so far, is lots of great things. No reason to tune away from us because the bad news is we are going to be dampening down the schedule for the summer. Violet will be out of school. He has more responsibilities
Yep.
and new job and just a lot of things going on in the summer. We can't keep the
This
live
pace up.
structure throughout the summer. So, what it's going to allow us to do is
Mhm.
substitute these lives for more of the creepypasta episodes we released over the past couple months
Yep.
and little shorter episodes like that. So, you'll still get something every week. It just might not be alive with a guest. We will continue them throughout the summer, but it's going to be
Definitely.
a smaller number. So, just putting that out there in the ether for all y'all
Yeah.
because we
And
don't
it's
want you to be disappointed that we're
yeah, and
cutting
it's
down the
no
schedule at all.
slight. No slight on any former upcoming guests or anybody we wanna have back on. It literally is just like, this is an unobtainable pace when you work a full-time job, and now that I'm working a new job, I have to get up twice as early as I was, so it's a lot harder to keep this every Wednesday up until at least 11:30 doing these lives, which I don't have any, like, real issues with it, but my body does. So, thank you guys for understanding. I really appreciate it. That's just going forward, but like Riley said, you aren't missing anything because 'cause we're gonna give you them cryptids, them ghost stories, everything that we've used to do that
We've
we
had
love to
this
do.
dying urge for at least the
Mhm.
summer to kind of get back and do a lot of the stuff that made our show what it is. But like give
Yeah.
it to you with that new flavor that we've been doing.
Mhm.
So hopefully you it seems like everyone has enjoyed the ones that we have done so far. We want to
Yeah.
continue to do that. So just be look for those like at least hopefully once a week along
Yep.
with the lives into the summer.
Yeah. Plus
Obviously we
true
have
crime. That's another big one. That's what I wanna do more of too.
yeah. So with the somberness out of the way and hopefully Nubs getting
Damn it,
well.
Nubs. Get better.
We love you, bro. Get well if you're watching. But
If
I
not,
guess,
get it out of you.
yeah, that's like really all of the like notifications. That was like 10 minutes of notifications. Hopefully, you guys are still hanging on. If you're new here, make sure you like, subscribe, all of that.
Yeah. Please
Like we
do it.
said, lots of great things
Yeah.
coming.
Well, I think now is the perfect time to segue into some of the fun topics, like how I was telling you today. So, I was saying earlier, I heard a story that had to do with extraterrestrial, I guess you could say, like like this is what we think is going on, or the best evidence of what a paranormal abduction would be, and then to have the proof of it too. So, for everybody listening and all that, I'll back up just to I'll hit reverse really quick and we'll start at the
Throw
beginning.
it in reverse, Terry.
So, Brazil, it's very well known, at least in most of the ufologist communities, that they basically have per capita the most sightings anywhere in the world. And it's pretty well documented to the point to where the government is like 100% on board with that this stuff is actually happening. So with all that being said, I think it was in 2016, maybe even or sooner than that, there was a body found by just a young man that was just like frequenting some, like abandoned road basically where there was a waterway, and he found a body. Well, the body he thought wasn't a person at first. He thought it was an animal, so he walked up to it, looked at it a little closer, realized it was a body, didn't examine it, left. And then out of nowhere, cops show up. Tell me why there's drill holes, like somebody had bored holes into this man's body, all over him. He's missing an eyeball. And then when they do the autopsy, he's missing the majority of his intestines and his insides. And then when they do some more digging, it shows that those holes that he had bored into him, he was having his innards sucked through those holes. Government covered this up. They didn't tell anybody that it was not public knowledge. It was not very well known in the news. It was also well known in the area. Animals, livestock was having the exact same things happening. Why isn't that more well known?
I'd never heard of that until our phone call today.
And that's where I'm going to put my foot down here and say animal mutilation isn't just random. Like when you see these accounts of cow and like just like I
Sheep
guess
and
livestock in general, like any type of livestock, when they are mutilated to the point to where it's almost like a science where they're like examining these pieces that are missing, or it was almost anatomically cut out of them, that's not a predator. That's a researcher. Like, what else could that be?
But like leads the question to like, what are they researching?
Could it just be that our anatomy is that much different from what we think the aliens would be? Which, granted, like, yeah, we don't know what an alien's anatomy is.
It could be completely like what we would never even think, honestly. What if it's like a chambered like anatomy, like it's all like protected inside of something? I don't
Or
know.
it's just like a floating gaseous consciousness.
What if
that
they
they're,
like
putting
so like
AI.
if they don't have some type of heart, we don't even understand it.
That's true.
It would be like, what if their anatomy is more of like a mushroom?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if it is more like plant-like, and it's not, and like this is also a very fun thought. What if it has multiple, say, like brains? So it's like everything's like its own, how our body works in tune with each other. Every part does. It has its own whatever. Yeah, I could see that their machine, it looks a lot different on the inside than our machine, where it's like, in order to understand something, you need to reverse engineer it, basically, right? At least that's how I've always interpreted things like that, especially coming from like an anatomy or an anatomical standpoint, where it's like, if I got a carburetor put in front of me, like, yeah, I got to take it apart. No, I'd put it back together. Like,
Yeah,
that's just straight
dude,
up fact.
that's a perfect example. Like I work in the aerospace industry, right? I just had a 2-day training where I learned how basically the anatomy of an airplane engine and how it works. Like I've been in the aerospace industry for 2 years and we have an engine at Pratt and Whitney that is completely mechanical. There's no electronics on it at all and it
That's
fully functions.
scary. That sounds
It's
scary.
actually no, and the thing is it's our most reliable engine.
Really?
The least amount of things break down on this engine. So it's kind of crazy that like you say that because like for me, like thinking that an airplane engine could actually create thrust and enough energy to lift something completely mechanical is
Mm,
like mind blowing.
it really is. Okay, I have a question for you. Do you know who Jason Sands is?
I
So
don't know.
what do you
I was just wondering about
I literally just
that.
Googled it, and it says that he's a storyteller. But I don't think I've ever heard of this man. And I have no idea what this news is. So if chat wants to elaborate a little bit, we'll just continue on with our aliens
New
talk until we get
UFO
to the
whistleblower.
Oh, I had no idea.
Jason Sand speaks out.
You got an article? I'd love to hear a
I
little bit
have
about this.
videos, but I don't know if we should.
We should be pulling up videos without the licensing rights. I
Trying to find one that's
personally,
like 2 minutes long.
Gucci, I guess I'll just keep going, but personally, I love whistleblowers because, like, what do they have to gain? You know what I mean? Other than like you're putting your reputation on the line for
See if
an
he's
entire community to just vagrantly just fucking berate you. Like, I don't know. At least in my book, where it's like when I was younger, I wouldn't tell people I saw a UFO because I would 100% be looked at differently. And I mean,
here. I'll read this from 97.9 WRFM. A UAP weekly special for 2224, breaking down new whistleblower Jason Sands. In a move that shook the UAP world, Jason Sands announced himself as the newest UFO and alien whistleblower with some absolutely stunning details over the weekend. Steven Diner breaks down everything here and gives. Okay, so it's just telling us about the story.
Oh, I found it too. Cool, I can follow along.
Oh, it's an audio thing. I want something I can read to y'all.
He said it was a pale blue undertone skin color, and he thought it was a person, but it was not. That's interesting as shit. You know, like that makes me wonder too. Like, like this telepathy. You know, like what if some of these people that are like receiving these subliminal messages and like having these wild fucking like abduction dreams? What if they weren't like necessarily being abducted, but like they were being fed like subliminal messages by these aliens to like telepathically to like soften the blow, and then they get fucking taken? To escape the base. See, that sounds fucking wild to me.
What the? But does he have proof, or is he just a storyteller?
It's a very wild story. You know what I mean? He's trying to escape. So my thing there though is like, oh, that actually came up in the Twitter spaces. Interesting. Non-human intelligence. Do you think that there's the possibility that these like aliens or UFO type dealios that we're encountering like legitimately aren't sentient beings, but like a form of artificial intelligence that's just like a basically a system that is running to do this certain task? I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities whatsoever.
So aliens are more like robots.
Yeah, and they're basically like they're not even like, you know, they're just the drones that they're sending here to do the work. Like we haven't seen a single fucking alien yet.
It's possible.
I don't know.
It's also
Like
possible that they could have aliens already here that are fully integrated and we don't even know.
I mean, I'd put my money on the fact that
Because, like, dude, think about
we
it.
do
Think
have them
about
here.
it. If it's something from a different galaxy, different space that we don't even understand, how the fuck to get here without interdimensional travel? Like, you know what I mean? So they would have to
Yeah.
master that. And if they know how to master that, they know how to integrate themselves to be completely invisible on Earth.
Well, and then you also got to think too, like
Not
how do
completely, but
their
at least like
bodies handle that?
99.99999999999%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, and like me personally thinking, like, if an alien can travel that fast and that far and then do that kind of shit, like either the technology they possess is fucking incredible, or they have the most rudimentary like basics to be able to do it, but their beings, their like shells or their coils or whatever you want to call it, are just so fucking rugged and dependable compared to what our bodies are, because realistically we live in a very very fragile body. Like anything could fucking destroy our complete livelihoods. Because I don't know, like, you know, I've really wrestled with that idea a lot lately, especially with all the UAP stuff coming out and all the like disclosure with like the military stuff.
What if aliens are like virus level small?
Microbe levels? Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and we've just been living with that for millennia. Good.
We don't know. We don't have these answers, people. Nobody does. We need people that do to speak up. Maybe that's what it is. So
That's true.
good on you. Hey, Jason Sands. You did
Jason
experience.
Sands?
Good on you.
That man's doing God's work, if there is. I'll be subjective here because I don't want to piss anybody off.
Yeah, I don't know if you can link those two together, man.
That's the funniest part, where it's like,
Unless you're talking like Anunnaki gods, and it, you know, it all depends on what the gods.
but like I could literally call you a god, and then at that point, like if I just
I'll
decided
be
to
doing
worship
that
you,
now.
I'm just
I don't need
you as an
that
example.
pressure on me, Ricky.
You are
God.
now my deity, and I worship you. So, I mean, yeah, aliens, that that one's been on my mind a lot lately. And then like why Brazil? Like why there? Why is it more documented and well accepted there than it is
The
anywhere else?
forest. It's got a lot of resources that are
The
untouched.
resources. I'd believe that. I would wonder
A
what
lot
the
of fresh
purpose is.
water in South America.
That's true.
A lot of fresh water down there. People don't think about that. Amazon, the largest freshwater system in the entire world.
What if this is also real. This is kind of an off the wall funny theory. What if the aliens or whatever extraterrestrial that is coming and going, and I'm just gonna accept the fact that I think there is. What if they're going to Brazil and these places because you know what I mean? There's a ton of these different types of species, and they're like, oh hey, I can tweak this genome just a little bit, or oh, add
Hey,
that
they
like
do
you-
find so many new species in the
Mhm.
Amazon every day, like different types of frogs and
let's
stuff.
just
The
throw
frog
this
thing
shit in
isn't
there.
all that weird because they evolutionize very fast and
But
adjust.
poison dart frogs and shit, you know what I mean? Where it's just what
So
would be
many
kind of
different
cool
colors
right
and
now?
versions of them.
Make an orange frog that's super poisonous, and then just make 100,000 of them and let them go. I don't know. Sounds like a good idea. So, I have another theory too. The Dyatlov Pass.
There's been some new theories coming out on that.
So, I talked to Noelle about it a little bit. He does seem to think that it probably most likely was some type of an avalanche and then a paradoxical hypothermic reaction to it, and they were cutting their way out of the tents because they had that visceral reaction, which that does make sense. And I guess as far as the radiation levels go, I completely forgot what she said. She can do it. She's in the chat. She got me. But do you still believe that? Even though she says it's proven, do you believe it, or do you still want to believe that the
See,
Outlaw Pass is alien?
I think they just went hypothermic and crazy, and then probably something like that happened. And
Infrasound. That
because
was
think about
part
it, they
of it.
might have been. We don't know how long they could have potentially been trapped under there. They could have went crazy. They could have been starving. They could have been dehydrated.
That
if
too.
you're hypothermic, you're probably dehydrated as well, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Those kind of things have so many different crazy effects on your body.
Two guys work clean up site. Yeah, okay. So think about this then. If infrasound was somewhat of the cause of their paradoxicalness, and then maybe it was also the cause of the avalanche and stuff like that. Well, what do you think about these people that think of gang stalking and they think that there's a mass group of people that are out to get them? Do you think that is a form of somebody's brain picking up at a certain frequency that causes them to think that, or do you think that legitimately is say just a
Some
mental
type of
disease,
psychosis.
a psychosis? Okay. Because I wondered, with how many different radio towers and all kinds of crazy shit, I don't think it could be impossible that that somebody was being affected by radio waves or signals like that. Could be anything. Movie Frozen was able to prove. Oh, we'll see. I would love to think that aliens were the reason, but that is far-fetched.
Alien Sasquatches. If you've listened to our episode,
that's real. That's a real thing, and I'm not moving away from that. I know for a fact that is it the Riley Patterson? What's
it's
the Patterson film or whatever? Yeah, the Patterson film. That's fake. That's definitely fake, and that makes me super sad. But some of the newer ones, I question.
Do you remember the hoax? It was 2012, I want to say, where the dude hoaxed the entire world that he had Bigfoot in his freezer.
Oh yeah,
he was on the news, bro. He was on CNN and all that shit.
And it was
y'all remember
he had
that?
the hair and he had it DNA tested, and they were like, dude, come on.
You know how stoked I was when I fucking heard that shit.
It's just
bro?
Coyote. What's his name?
Coyote Patterson.
Yeah, Coyote Patterson. When he found that skull in Canada or in Nova Scotia or wherever the fuck he was.
No, he didn't find it. He
planted it.
It was a skit.
Yeah, he fucking planted it. Like they made me believe 1,000,000% that we finally found those missing links that we needed. Or like
Right?
the
He had
questions are
so
getting
much
answered.
credibility as like a wild biologist. I, I don't think he's a
Wildlife
real.
biologist? Yeah.
I don't think he's a real one. I don't think he has degree. I don't know, but at
Yeah.
least a TV biologist.
Accredited, I guess you could say. Maybe, maybe not. It's
Come on,
hard
we
to
all know
tell.
he got famous from getting bit by bugs. We all know that.
Would you let like a fucking murder hornet sting you? Hell no. No amount of money could you pay me.
Hell no. Hell no. I ain't fucking with any bee, bro. No.
No.
You want to know what'll scare me and make
Spiders.
me run out of a haunted house quicker than a ghost? A fucking bee.
You really?
Out of there.
See,
Out of there, bro. I
spider.
don't fuck with bees, man.
Any
They're
type of spider.
unpredictable. People say they won't. They are unpredictable. You don't know what that bee is thinking. Think about this. Bees aren't even physically supposed to be able to fly, and they do. How about
That's
that?
true. I wish we could put up polls in the chat and be like, what would be the scariest thing on an investigation? A ghost, a spider, darkness, heights, or bees? Those are your answers. Flying roaches. Okay, see, now we got to add more to the list because like fucking
Yeah.
gigantic roaches don't sound fucking fun either. It sounds like a cicada here in Michigan. Like when you get
Florida, Florida's got those one bugs. I don't know, Bermuda bugs or something like that. Those things are fucked. No, those things are a no go for me too.
yeah, those are a big no-go for me. So would you call an investigation early if you were getting attacked by, say, flying roaches or spiders, or like it was like the location was infested to the point to where like everything you did, you were just like, I have to fight off insects and other things that are just unpleasant.
Yeah, I'm out of there.
Really? You're like, I don't give a fuck how fucking crazy this is. I'm not gonna deal with it.
I don't really like. Nah, I don't fuck with bugs. I don't like bugs.
I don't either. I like as much as like I like to think I'm a
Snakes.
manly man.
I told y'all about my snake story. Yeah, snakes don't work for me either. Big snakes. I should not little snakes. Big snakes. Big
I mean,
snakes.
fuck. I think I'd rather fuck with a big snake because I know there's less poisonous ones than the littler ones. Because like if we say go like to Florida or like anywhere else in the world, and we're going in like a rainforest where it's like that snake looks cool. Also, it has the 9th deadliest poison in the world, and it kills in 10 minutes.
See,
Like,
we don't
oh,
even
shit.
know. We don't even know about that here in Michigan. Like we're just like, oh, snake, whatever. Like they can't hurt me.
Worst thing we got is like a blue racer, and they're just fast. Like they're
They're
just
a little
weird
aggressive. I
ranger
got
shit.
chased by one once. That was pretty cool, but
Yeah, a water moccasin. Those are kind of spooky because if you get one in the water, like it's like whoa, like that fucker is.
we don't have water moccasins though. We
Yeah,
got water snakes.
we got water snakes. I like to call them water moccasins because then it sounds scarier.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking in the water.
I seen him. He had a white mouth. I swear.
Oh shit, yeah. Snakes, spiders, demons. I don't do balloons. Okay, balloons on investigations are like a double-sided. Like I love it and I hate it because like you can get some cool things with balloons, especially ones that light up or glow in the dark. But if they pop in another room and you're not ready for it, there's gonna be streaks all up and down my shorts.
That's why you always bring 2 pairs of underwear to an investigation.
I like to think that like I'm always prepared, but there's never been an investigation that we've gone on where I like open my bag and I go, I've got everything. I usually look in there and go, I forgot that. Like, fuck. Usually happens. Ooh, banging. So, true crime has been on my mind a lot lately.
I've been watching a lot of fucked up shit lately. I'll be honest with y'all. Lately I've been watching like a lot of like YouTubers who fucked up type stuff.
There's been quite a few, like the one YouTuber who did CS:GO, and then he made a bunch of money off of it, like millions of dollars, and then he got in trouble for like gambling on loot boxes and selling those loot boxes. And then he ended up like crashing his car at over 105 miles an hour going the wrong way on a highway, where it's like, that's not even like that's just one of many. And that's like the tamer ones.
Yeah. You have the Danny Phantom Killer, like that dude's
Yeah,
video
the guy that was
creepy.
super into those like animated characters that he created, and he was like, didn't he go into a fucking
He went to his work, which is a grocery store,
and shotgunned people to death? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard about that one too. Oh, Night 305. Love you guys. So, but like, I guess like just like not just true crime in general, but like disappearances. You know, like how we've covered a couple on the channel, like just completely up and vanished people, where it's like there's no traces, like there's no real
yeah,
how or whys or
and
what
like
happened.
25,000 plus people go missing in Alaska every single year. Like more
Yeah,
people go
that's
missing in Alaska than anywhere else in the US.
yep. And we had just talked about this too. Like, and then not only that, like a very, very large majority of these people that have come forward and talked about this have also, I don't know if this is just a stigma or like just something that's attached to it, but seeing white owls or owls right before as almost like these are omens, or people like to classify that as like that's an extraterrestrial sighting.
I've heard that.
And it's only in Alaska. Like maybe in the Pacific Northwest, but that's close enough to the border as well that like I would think it would permeate down a little bit. But like it is majority is in Alaska.
Alaska's wild, y'all.
And
Like
like I do
think about how big Alaska is.
I was just gonna say I do think you could hide bodies a lot easier than most places there. That's not even a question.
You
but
could it's just easier to go missing there. So there's not a lot of people up there, and it's such a huge landmass that like you could go to a city and be completely someone different. No one would even know the wiser.
Or I mean, like also like you go downtown. I think it's fucking Vancouver right now, or like one of the Canadian cities, like in downtown, middle of the street. There's like an open air drug market where it's just like oh, San Francisco's the same way actually. Now that I think about it, where it's just like it is fucked up. You know what I mean? Like that's just crime happening on the streets. Okay, well that's still more regulated than Alaska. Like per capita, I don't think there's enough people to regulate that square amount of footage that it is too. And that
It's
makes me
impossible.
wonder.
It's impossible. There's parts of Alaska I don't think we've even explored yet.
I would really like to talk to some of the officers or just like go and hang out in one of the police departments that are like in a very rural way off of the beaten path, like towns, and then be like, what are some of the more crazy stories you guys got?
Oh, dude, I'll tell you this. There's a
Yeah.
river I fished. Gosh, I can't think of what the river was called or even where it was. It was just outside Palmer, Alaska somewhere. But this river, they had nowhere else to dump cars that didn't work anymore. So they just dumped them on this peninsula of the river. And there's literally an island built and it's made of cars. And like I was fishing off of it. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
See, and then there's also like the stories of like the guy that just he wasn't happy with his life. He just decided he was going to go up and live in the rural woods of Alaska, and he walked to that bus that's out there that like
Oh, yeah.
you can't get to basically. It's like what? Like that's nuts.
Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves. Yeah, that is the exact story that I'm thinking of. And
That's a great movie. If you've never seen Dances with Wolves, y'all, you have to watch it. It's crazy.
Yeah, and like there sometimes to me too, like I know we're like all over the place tonight, but like stories like that are more harrowing than like the unexplainable stories. Like the guy that got his is it 72 hours? Is that what it's called? Where he got his arm stuck between that boulder and that wall of the canyon, and he had to break his arm and cut it in half to get out.
Oh yeah.
Like, I listened to him talk about that, and how is anybody capable of that? You know what I mean?
Just to think that like there's so many things that we are able to do to keep ourselves alive that we don't even realize that we're capable of. It's just you have to not want to die. You can't let that
Dude, it's like
thought.
breaking your limiter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you have that governor in your head, and it's like you can't physically bite down on your pinky hard enough to cut it off, but you have more pounds per bite than you need to cut it off, but your brain won't let you. And then I think it's same, you know what I mean? Like the same limiter for everything. And then I guess like to tie it back into
Yeah.
paranormal too, I wonder if that bitch gets blown wide open, you know, when you do have your first experience where it's like, now that bar is broken. Now you can just receive that shit freely.
I don't know. I don't
Fun
know.
theory.
There's also stories of people that like have a boulder land on them and it's like 10 times their body weight. They should
And they
never
lift
be able
that
to
shit.
move that boulder off of their arm, and they're actually like capable of doing it because of that, again, that limiter that's inside of your conscious brain that will stop you from doing something, because it's like if you exert all of this energy, you're going to have nothing left.
Yeah. Dude, that's the crazy part for me too, where it's like we aren't completely aware of the capabilities that we possess. And that's scary to me, where it's like, well, how do you unlock that trait? Like, is there a skill tree that I can put points into to unlock?
Yeah, and then to like tie this all into paranormal, because I think we should, is like that. Think about it. Like some people are able to have spiritual connections and potentially talk to spirits a lot easier than some other people
Yeah.
through psychic abilities. Who's to say that it's just because their brain isn't more developed in that area than yours is developed in a different area on something else?
Yeah. Well, and
Like,
it seems like too, like a lot of people will have like a spiritual awakening, for lack of a better terms, but it's like some type of event or like something that like jump started it, you know? Like it
yeah,
that
that's kind of what Sean was saying a little
Mhm.
bit. I remember when we were talking to him,
Yeah,
like
he
everyone
alluded to it too, for sure.
has an experience. That's how much in that moment do you lean into it? How much are you
Yeah.
willing to like open yourselves up to something spiritual happening? And for
Right.
a lot of people, they're probably going to shut it off and be like, I'm not doing that right now.
It's gotta be like a valve, you know what I mean? Like, if you have, like, a pipe, right? And then you have, like, the hard stop valve there, and, you know, you start to, like, ease it open, well, at some point, it's either gonna, like, break and completely open, or it's gonna fucking close because of the pressure, and if you close it yourself, well, now you have all the pressure built up, and it's never gonna open because you shut it out, like,
Again,
already.
or it's more like your trauma response. How do you respond to trauma is how your body receives that paranormal experience.
Right, and holy fuck, I just read chat. Fucking Patty, I'm glad you didn't die.
Yeah,
Like,
jeez.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy. But, like, that's what I'm talking about, is, like, stuff like that, where I've had a near-death experience multiple times in my life now. Can't explain why I have all these things happen to me, but I like to put a lot of stock into that, where it's like, that might have something to do with it, and then you lean into it, and then, like you said, we open the floodgate. And, like, who knows? Like, maybe you don't, like, necessarily, like, say, I don't have that experience personally, like, where I almost die, but somebody very close to me does. Well, and you're empathic too, you know what I mean? Like, well, then I feel like that could also open up that receptor more and more every time. It's like one of those things where it's like you are a product of your environment. And, like, if your environment is around people that also believe, I think it also generates the thought process of, like, safe haven here. Like, for at least for spirits, if they can vibe out energy.
I think, dude, I think you're onto something there. Like I think spirits, like we've said plenty of times through the course of this show, is like the spirits are going to be receptive to the energy you put out there. We always put out like
Yeah,
inviting,
definitely.
like loving energy. Some spirits might not like that. They might not want to
Mhm.
talk to us because they don't want that. They're not looking for that. You know what I mean? They're looking for
Yeah.
someone to do something else for them. So that maybe they're not willing to talk to us. Might be other spirits that are just like, I'm glad someone's here to talk to me. Or there might be other spirits that are like, I don't give a fuck what you're doing here. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And they
then
try to scare you out because what else are they going to do? What are you going to try to do when someone invades your space and you don't want them there? You're going to do whatever you can to push them out.
basically, yeah. Like,
You're going to
and
lie
like,
to them. You're going to threaten them. You're going to do all these
you got to
negative
think too, like
actions.
the passive aggressive stuff too. Like sometimes, like it does feel like you go to a location, right? And instead of like it being like an aggressive, like get the fuck out, it's like alone, leave, quiet. You know, like stuff like that, where it's like it's that subtle alluding to like you are annoying me. Like I don't want you in my space or in my presence. And I don't I mean, I'm kind of a homebody some days. So like I would actually completely understand that. And especially in some of the locations that we go to, like the mental institutions and prisons and things like that. Like, yeah, those are the I don't want to say less desirable because mental institutions that's not why, but like it's criminally insane. And you know, like the criminals, like that I could see where it's like, yeah, that vibe's different. That's a whole different vibe.
100%. Or like when we come across like children spirits and it's like more playful vibes. And
Yeah, it's always upbeat. You know, it's a really, really good thing you say that because realistically, over the last 4 investigations that we've done, it does seem like there has been more of the upbeat and cheerful investigation side of it with the responses we've been getting, and this is also a great, like, little, like, alluding to Post Town. There really wasn't much darkness per se, but, like, there towards the end of the video, it did change tone. I will say that, I'm not gonna give it all away. I've told the story already in the previous episodes, so if you wanna check that out, it's fine. But you know what I mean? Like, you can feel the tone shift most of the times, but realistically, it's always been happy. Like, I haven't really ever felt sad.
yeah, we really haven't been hit emotionally at a location yet.
Mhm.
I know it's gonna happen eventually. Like we're gonna feel connected in some type of different way. Still waiting for something terrible to happen, a
Yeah,
demon to take my soul. But
I'm just gonna say this, and this is my addressing the union for how I feel about what is going on with everybody talking about this and that and the other thing. I still don't know how I feel about the whole demon debate. I don't really put a whole lot of faith in it right now because I still have not encountered anything that would be dark or demonic or even close to being anything like that. I'm leaning a lot more towards angry people, angry spirits. Older spirits don't know what they are anymore because they're just older spirits. Not going to classify that as something malicious with a title. We don't know what that is. So that's just where I'm sitting with that.
I'm right there with you. Until I've said this from the beginning, until I
Mhm.
experience it for myself, I can't say this or that. I can't. I just
I
can't.
agree.
I need to experience it for myself. Everyone
I need it.
can have their own opinion, but until I literally see physical proof of a demon with my own eyes, then I can't believe in them.
Ooh. Noel's throwing these heaters in the chat. I really like this. I wonder how more investigations will pan out with me because my current brain is not the same these days. I was younger and going through a lot of bad things, and it's really heavy things versus now. That's a great point because not only is your mindset different, your maturity level is different, your energy levels are different, and your physical makeup is different. I really do now think like that really makes me think, how does that affect paranormal activity? It has to, you know?
It all links intertwines together, I think. It's all about like how the energies are gonna mix when they're together. Are they gonna be negative? Are they gonna be positive? Because people like people, right?
People like people, yeah.
So just because this person is a bad spirit to this person doesn't mean that when the next person walks in, they're going to be a bad energy towards them. They might like them, might want to communicate with them, might want to do things for them. Other spirits, they might just get a kick out of seeing people scream. And when that doesn't happen, they might get pissed off. When you get other people that come in and they don't scream and they don't run out and they get
Yeah,
send
and,
mad.
like
And then they just shut off because they're like, this isn't even fun for me. You're
well,
not
and,
doing
like,
what I
look at
want.
the broad spectrum at this point too, because we've had it on our show. Gen Z, super young. All the way up until I don't even wanna, like,
Paranormal Papa.
yeah, I don't even wanna take a guess at who the oldest is, but and I don't wanna call anybody out. But, like, you know, like, you start thinking about it, you go, do the spirits treat the elder generations more, like, with more respect than the younger generations? No idea. Yep. See, and exactly. Like, we had talked about that too a little bit at Post Town, where it's like, I wonder what the fallout will be. You know, like, I even talked about it with you after doing like a dual night investigation, like how I did. It's like I've never really done a back to back, like legit, you know, like that much time spent on location. And it's like I wonder how that affects a person. Like when you stayed in Alaska at that hotel that supposedly had some activity, you know, and when you got to like, well, didn't go in the basement, but had the opportunity to possibly do that. Did it, you know, like, did you feel more like rested, drained? Like, did you feel any different when you left there? No.
Didn't spend too much time in the hotel room.
Oh, that's a good point. You probably slept there and then went and did your thing anyway. Yeah. I almost wonder too, you know, like that show 28 days in or 28 days or whatever, however long they spent on location at some of these places. If you like actually just don't leave and you spend all your time there, have people go get you things, you know, is is that when you really like tune the fork, you know, like where you take your tuner and you go bing. All right, there we go, got it.
Maybe. I don't know what it takes. Like, shit, I've never stayed multiple nights at a location, so I can't put my personal experience on it other than when I've lived in haunted houses. But I really don't know if that skews like my mental data of things because it wasn't happening every day.
Right. Well, and like
Happening every
I
once in a
mean,
great while.
I and like the fact too is like did the locals, you know, like that you did speak to that, you know, like believed in it, were they like I don't want to say like fanatic about it, but were they like excited to like tell you about it? Or was it kind of just like, oh yeah, like there might
They
be some
just kind
stuff.
of they just told me like anyone else would tell a story.
Yeah, where it's not too it's just like a norm like how we would talk to each other. Cause some like you know what I mean? Like sometimes you can read somebody where they're like, yeah, dude, nobody ever asks about this. Or they'll be like, yeah, it could be haunted. That then you can at least drive like, well, maybe they don't really believe it. Maybe they do believe it.
I do know the next time I go to Palmer, Alaska and stay at the Eagle Inn, I'm definitely talking to them. But
Right. Another banger of a question from Noel too. We have done like a couple like a week to week investigations for real. And I would say I do personally notice the day after I feel tired. That's for sure, like lack of sleep for sure, but like even mentally I feel fatigued where I'm like I don't even have the mental capacity today to really go through my footage. I might look at a photo or two, but I usually save that for like the next weekend because I want to recharge that battery. And then, you know, as far as dreams go, like I dream about the location for the whole week until, you know, like something else happens in my life that's changed.
yeah, I had really, I don't know, just because the last few couple investigations we did, there was some good stuff, but it wasn't like what I was looking for.
It
It's
wa
not
yeah,
what
I know what
the
you
thing
mean.
is where I'm struggling is I'm
I know what
looking
you
for
mean.
something like extremely specific to
It's this
happen in
concrete.
paranormal. Like I really want to see something like poltergeist in front of me. Yeah, we've captured it, but I want to see it with my own eyes. And then two, like I know everyone feels this way, but I want to
Yeah.
see like a shadow figure or something. I want to
I want to
have
get
like a
the
next tier. I want
that.
to have like a
Yeah.
S tier class experience.
Dude, I feel
I
like we went from smoking weed to like doing crystal to like doing hard meth to doing Dilaudid. Now we're doing opioids out the ass, and now we're just taking fentanyl just straight. Like, I need the highest level shit. Like, I've seen it all, and I love it. It is all really good, but I want that fucking top.
Yeah, I'm just looking for that S tier class like experience. That's just like chef kiss. Like,
That's where I'm at too. Like, I want to be able to present it too. Like, as much as I just like want to just experience it with my eyes and just like be in that moment, I want to be able to present it. Be like, guys, it fucking happened. Give me that fucking pure Colombian
I
bomb
like.
bomb.
I want that rush that we had after Mouse Cemetery.
Yeah,
First
where I was like, you saw it too. We both were shaking, like we were physically shaking, and it wasn't
or
cold.
or the night at Van Buren County Poorhouse. Like, I want that type
That
of
drive
night.
home, no music, strictly talking about what the fuck just happened.
And playing EVPs over the speakers. That's what I'm
Yep.
looking for.
Yeah, the last two in particular have been on the less crazy, but like just as decent, of like value where we would find stuff, like there when you catch a unicorn, it's still a fucking unicorn. I don't care how small, what color, where you found it, it's still a fucking unicorn. It's just like hockey. They don't ask you how many goals you scored or how. I mean, they
But
don't ask you how you scored it. They say how
they
many.
ask how many, yeah. They ask how many. But it's just like I feel like at the beginning of 2023, we got spoiled with some incredible locations.
Unicorn.
Like Asher Walton House, finding the haunted Indian burial ground, Nunica,
The
the
holes in
haunted
the walls.
forest, the tattoo shop, Van
Even Lake
Buren
Forest
County.
now, dude. Another great place to investigate, I feel like. Like, it's little places like that.
I feel like we're just getting really lucky with these awesome locations that have really cool history that they're not your freaking giant location
It's
a lot
not
of times.
ISS. It's not fucking, like, Sweetwater Sanatorium. It's you know what I mean? It's not Sweet Springs, I mean. It's not fucking, like, Alcatraz. It's literally places that nobody has ever heard of that is just also incredible in its own right. Like, our good friend, thank you so much, Riley, for putting me onto that because I don't go on Facebook ever, but Eric Freeman Sims of I can't even think of the full name of
The
his podcast.
Unseen Paranormal
The
Podcast.
Unseen Paranormal Podcast. That's right. I was gonna say like unrestricted. I was like, no, that's Danny's. Like, what am I talking about? But he literally just purchased a very old
200-year-old house.
200-year-old, yeah, historic property that just needs a little love, but is also 200 years of history built
Pretty sure
into it.
it's gonna be a haunted like place that you can go
The
rent.
attraction, yeah, an attraction dealio. Yeah.
We'll
And
have
it's
to
it's
probably make our way down to Kentucky to get up in that thing.
And it's like it's things like that though, there's so many locations, like Dackley Hume Homes down here. There's plenty of other houses, which granted they're residentials now, but if they weren't residentials, those are 200+ year old houses too. Those places are all over the United States. They're at every town, everywhere. It's the beautiful beast in all of this.
Paranormal is all around us, and we have some little freaking honey holes, I think, that are coming
We
up
really
this year
do.
that no one knows about that have really interesting backstories behind them. Like, I'm so excited to go check them out, honestly, and hit a lot of the places that we did last year too. We're speaking of the free places. We'll do some big locations again too.
Yeah,
But
that's not even a question. With the amount of money that I'm making at this new job, whoop whoop,
flex.
flex, like pretty much doubled my yearly income. Like Jesus Christ, been fucking needing that forever. But we can really afford to, like go do a weekend in Indiana, Ohio. Like those places are within our reach, and that's a lot of cool places. Like Old Lincoln County Jail. Oh fuck yeah! Like that's within our reach. That is also where it all fucking started. And that is one that has been just like need to go back. What happened there?
Yeah, we have a lot of places we gotta get back into, man. That we didn't. That we were
didn't do
so
enough.
we were so fucking green that we didn't really even know what we were doing, recording anything.
Didn't do enough. Well,
So
and
green.
we thought, you know, darkness was better because it's scary. But when you can't see a fucking thing that's on the camera and all you hear us going, oh shit, what's that? Like, it's not good.
You hear that? What's that?
It's not good.
What?
It's a little ASMR for you guys today. Yeah, and then Stimson Hospital, another honey hole. Like it's places like this, like where the dweebs and Tommy and people that are within the Michigans too, that have these places that they're just like, oh, we live close to this place, or like we got the hookup. Like, hey, check this place out. Like, fucking nod of the cap, like a big hearts in the chat, like fucking MVPs. Every single person in this chat today, and that is gonna watch this later, MVPs, because you guys are the ones that make this fucking go. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you haven't yet, and you want to win a bumpy, make sure you go to that Instagram post.
Please win a bumpy. Please. Everybody that's in this chat, I want to see your name on the fucking drawing because Riley himself has put a fuck ton of love into these. And then once we do the divot boxes too, and we really like put the love and everything.
You have the cards within reach.
Oh, I do. Yeah. Guys, surprise time.
Surprise time, y'all. So excited.
What I have here in my hands is our playing deck that has been professionally printed. I think I should crack the seal. What do you think? Crack the seal? There's 4 decks here, so
let's show them a couple cards.
That's what I was thinking as well. As because you can actually see these ones. Okay. Oh, dude, these are fucking crispy. Like, hold on, listen. You can hear the like. That's like an actual playing card. So it says Wendigo. Then there's these dice symbols, right? You roll the dice and it does something. So I'll read what this one does. It says Wendigo. This is a cryptid card. This beast craves the flesh of humans, and if seen, should not be approached. Roll a 2. The Wendigo ate this investigator. Draw a new one. Roll a 1. While devouring a corpse, its powers have cursed all devices for 2 turns. Roll a 3. The Wendigo has become immensely powerful and summoned another spirit or cryptic. Okay, so the name of the game is to literally take your investigative tools and use those by rolling dice to solve these mysteries at these locations that you'll also get out of these cards. So I'll just pull all of them for example.
Find each subject. Find a investigator, a device, a location, and a cryptic or spirit.
Exactly.
I'll walk through how the game works for y'all because it's
actually fucking dope.
It's crazy.
The way that you thought it out,
get this game for free if you entered to win a bumpy, and it actually plays. Like it plays real.
We've play tested this quite a bit, and we played for like 3 straight hours. Honestly,
my girlfriend whooped my ass in this game.
Okay,
whooped my ass.
So a mysterious camera. This is a device card. Do you want me to read what they do too?
Yeah.
Okay. So it says roll a 5. You never took this photo. Draw a spirit or a cryptic. So you can get multiple cards that'll fuck you in the end because it's harder to realistically solve investigations when you have too many things to solve. 3, camera took a photo capturing the spirit or cryptic. You would solve the investigation and get a point. Right? Yeah.
Yep.
And then 1, you shouldn't have seen this photo. Investigators cursed for a turn.
So now that means you're investigator. So you have to have an investigator and a device to solve an investigation. And you have to roll to solve the investigation from a device card. But if your investigator is cursed, you can't use him. So nothing that would line up there works for you. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So it's like a probability thing. Will I land on something good? Will I land on something bad? And
Yep.
some cards are like goated. Like no matter what you roll, you'll solve the
Yeah,
investigation.
if you get like Rick or Billy or a Trevor or Riley, like you pretty much solve an investigation right off the rip. Yeah, and then it's just with a D6. You literally just roll a D6. We have a list of rules and like the proper order to do it because we found out that if you do it out of order, it gets a little wonky. It still works, but like there's a proper flow to it that needs to be more achieved than less.
Yeah.
But
And there's a lot
fucking
in the game
fun.
too that's just open to the players to decide. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah, that's the best part about card games is you can play it how you want. Like Uno for instance, like you're not supposed to put draw two, draw two, draw two on top of each other, but people fucking do. Like play it how you want.
yeah. So if you win the bumpy, you'll get that. And whoever our guest is that wins a bumpy, they will also be receiving this card game.
Yep.
We
So
might put it up for sale eventually, but we'll see. We want to play
it
it
needs a
live
little
for you
more
guys.
refining, we think.
We want to play it live for you guys to see how
Mm.
you like it, and then we'll decide if you guys want to buy them. We can have them made, and we'll just come up with a cost and everything.
Yeah. I also started playing Magic from my home at my computer. So like I now have it so I can just take this camera and face it straight down on my like Magic mat. So like I can literally show you guys how to play right on the
At
mat.
Ghostorama. We might just play it at Ghostorama.
I was just gonna say we should just
I
play it.
don't think it's ready yet to take people's money for.
Mm.
Need some
We don't
fin-
even know how much we would want to sell it for. Well, this is all Riley's brainchild. He literally came to me one day. This is so fucking wild, and this is how smart and creative this man is. He came to me the day after he had thought of this while going to sleep. Like he was dreaming of this, woke up, conceived it in a day, and then that afternoon was like, yo, I think I have an idea for a card game, and I think this is how it's gonna work. Literally told me out every detail of it. And then by 2 days later, he had like 30 cards made.
And I ran the first 30 card prototype and played it.
And it was playable.
I came
And
over
it's
to
like,
your house and played it.
and we played
Actually,
it together at my table over here. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck you thought of it. It's still brilliant to me. And like, that's just like half of the stuff that we just brew. Like we were saying earlier, we need to get butter in the office. We just need an office too, and just churn butter because we just come up with them smooth ideas. Because I mean, like, I don't know any other podcast slash like paranormal investigating team that be like doing this, you know, like that's wild.
yeah.
Fucking
So,
brilliant. You are brilliant, dog.
so we will bring the game to Ghostorama and
Yeah.
we will play with people.
I mean, realistically, like I'll fucking
Maybe
like,
I'll even give away at Ghostorama. I'll have a drawing and I will give away the OG prototype.
yeah, we can do that, or I can go across the street and I can get more printed too because they have them on file now.
Yeah,
and I'll be like, just make me another deck.
Yeah,
We can that
do
shit. We've been talking about it. It is all of the cards too are intellectual property. So like everything that's on here, like the Agikahara Forest, we've covered that. And there's gonna be multiples. Hold on. REM pod. We have a REM pod.
Everything's based off of something we did in the podcast. It could be a character in a story. It could be something we talked about. It could be something we've
the lady in white, literally
picture
the
of.
picture that I caught.
The Shadow, the Reaper from Mouth Cemetery's in there.
It's all of that's in the card game. All of everybody you've ever
Tommy's
seen
in
on
the
our
card.
channel.
Tommy's in the card game. Randy's in the card
Randy's in
game.
it. Yeah, pretty much everybody that up until the point that you had conceived it and made this prototype deck and these cards. We said we were gonna make what you said you were gonna do like an expansion pack. We were gonna add to the lore. Hey, we fucking thanks, dweebs. We love you guys. Also, I still am reeling from all the fucking that conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago about all that crazy shit that they had happened. And the video, fucking chef's kiss. That place is dope.
Definitely is.
It makes me want to go investigate next weekend so fucking bad. Like as much as I know it's gonna be hard because of it's rainy season. That makes it real hard.
Bro, we could. Next
As
Friday,
long
bro,
as
we could. We could next Friday. We could find something.
it might definitely be worth doing.
See what the weather's looking like. That's the game we're playing with here in Michigan. Is
Yeah,
will
it's
we be able?
whack-a-mole with
Because we have
fucking weather.
one location in mind that we want to hit next.
Mm. And it's outdoor. So it's one of those like I'd rather not bring all the equipment, put it outside, get the drone out, and then have it all get fucking rained on.
Yeah,
Because
if you guys didn't know yet, we have a drone now.
oh yeah, Riley has been expertly piloting and learning every little bit of fucking drone work that he can, and it's oh god, I am so excited. Our Lake Forest video in particular
It's gonna have
if
the sickest drone
is
shot.
gonna
ever.
is gonna turn some heads with the fucking drone shots and some of the fun B-roll shots that we did. Fuck, we could even make that into a short film of just B-roll.
We could.
Like, it was that cool. But yeah, I mean, after we do Ghostorama, I'm going to Edinburgh Manor too. Like, that's another one that we were talking about a little bit about this. Unfortunately I won't have a drone for Edinburgh, but POV has a drone.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not letting you borrow my drone.
I'm not even, don't trust me with something that expensive, okay? Let me own my own first and then we'll see. For sure. But yeah, like I will just be like, yo, Ernie, like I will literally pay you to take some drone shots for me. Because I like how they look and it's dope. But Edinburgh Manor is coming up a weekend after Ghostorama for me. I'm gonna be going Riley. Riley, unfortunately, is not because it is during the week, like a work week, and I have a family event, which is with my very, very long distant relatives that have passed on 200 years plus in Iowa. But yeah, so there's another event that I'm gonna go attend and be a part of in Iowa with Point of View, Barry's Unfortunate Travels.
Maybe I'll do a solo
Cultural
investigation
Conspiracy.
somewhere that weekend.
Ooh, it's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. Just grab a spirit box and fucking run out in the woods somewhere.
Who's down for a Riley solo video
Ooh, or a TikTok live.
or TikTok live solo?
A Riley solo TikTok live investigation, because then I can watch it live. That doesn't sound bad.
All
And
by
all by
myself.
your hizzy. Where would you want to go though?
I don't know. Mouth.
Lake Forest is a good one to walk around because you can literally just walk walk the windy roads by
I
yourself.
want to go
and
somewhere scarier, like Mouth.
scarier, you think? TikTok is not still a thing. I barely use it. But like TikTok live, I guess, like drives people to your channel. And we are 9 people away from hitting our 600th. Like, let's drive those numbers up, fam. We're fucking close. And I'm super excited about that because I never thought we would even have more than 20, to be honest with you, Riley.
Actually, we got 100 subscribers pretty fast on YouTube. We never even posted anything.
I don't know 100 people. I don't talk to more than 20 people. Like, not on a regular basis. So it's
we have
fucking wild
we
to
have
me.
21,000 views on YouTube. That's wild. We have more views on YouTube than the podcast has in plays now.
That's insane. That actually, I never actually thought about that. That's fucking insane.
Like, and it's all thanks to y'all. Like, honestly, tuning in every week and being so active in the chat, like, and liking all
and,
of our
like,
videos helps us out
hanging
so
out.
much.
For us babbling like a couple of buffoons
Yeah.
today
We
because
didn't even have
Nubs is
anything.
sick.
We our lined up topic all day was obviously to talk to Nubs and catch up with
Yep.
him. But unfortunately, he's sick, so we had to come up with something on the fly, and we're like, let's just hang out.
Let's talk about aliens. Let's talk about ghosts. Let's talk about what's coming up. Let's just, let's see where the tangent train takes us for sure. Because, I mean, what's more fun than, like, literally hanging out with some of your best friends? Like, everybody in this chat is fucking incredible. Because not only do we get spoiled every week that you guys get to hang out and, like, spend your time with us. Not like I'm saying it's the other way around. Like I can't believe you guys grace us with your time, but you guys interact. Like it's so fucking wonderful to me to just like sit here and be like, dude, it's such a community
Yeah,
we've built.
like,
Like
when we were churning butter before the
Jordan,
show, like, we were honestly talking about y'all and, like, how you guys ask such
so
great
loyal.
questions to all of our guests, and, like, you challenge some of them too, which is awesome too. Like, we totally
Mhm.
accept that. Like, if you're questioning something that you're hearing or
Yeah.
witnessing,
Or if
like,
I'm saying it wrong, please.
challenge it. Challenge us. It
Yeah,
only
if
makes
I'm
us better.
babbling,
Only
by
makes
all
us
means,
better.
make me look as stupid as I need to be educated because sometimes I is uneducated.
Yeah. I'm a genius of nothing.
Yeah, I am a tradesman in all, but an expert in none. Is at least maybe not. Maybe I'm better at some things than others, but yeah, I mean, realistically, I know coming up for sure with those investigations, literally like not even being like what 4 or 5 weeks out now. Like I feel like we have to once again prepare and be like, okay, how do we want to tackle this again? You know, like where do we want to start? What do we want to do first? Because like that's also another big one where hmm, it's like your process changes ever so slightly depending, you know?
Yeah, it's like, what do we wanna do to make our videos improve? Like, how do we wanna approach each video different to make it better than the last? I think
That
sometimes
big.
w we miss a lot of details early on in the filming that we should
Mhm.
have hit. I think now that we're witnessing that as we're editing, when we were doing it, we thought we did great, but then we go and edit and we're like, "Man, I wish we would've just added a little bit more here. Like, just went a little deeper with this, or went a
Yeah.
little deeper with that."
Yeah,
It's like
or
now
like
that we're
putting cameras in weird spots where it's like, why did I think that looked good?
or even just the way we provide information to all
That
of you
too.
about these locations, like, we can do a better job, I think. And, like, we don't know these things until we make the mistake, right? So
Right.
hopefully this next couple videos that we have come out,
Just dial it in.
we just got to dial them in a little bit more, and I think they'll be more enjoyable, and I think y'all will appreciate them even more than you already do, because I know you appreciate our work. And, like, that's what we're excited about. We're excited about all these new ventures we have planned with, like,
Mhm.
these short creepy pasta films. Like, I think these are going to be so fun for us to
Short
make.
short films have always been a big passion of mine. I made a zombie film way back in the day. So it's like, this is exciting.
Yeah, and, like, just doing this kind of thing, like, an entertainment side of stuff too, is it's, like, really taking the show to everything. We've talked about with the live, it became what we wanted, but
Step.
there's more. You know, like, we've always wanted so much more. We wanted this to not just be a podcast and an investigation channel. We wanted it to be an entertainment source for all of you as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, we provide credible evidence. We're unapologetically ourselves, and we realistically love every single person that has ever given us the time of day to listen, to interact, or like realistically befriend us because there is nothing better in this world than making friends with somebody that is like-minded with you and it shares the same type of passions. Like it is so fun to me to just be like, my circle has grown exponentially ever since we started doing this, and I'm so thankful for it.
Yeah, and we're just looking to have more fun with this. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, we're like, as you guys can
It's
tell,
always
like,
been fun.
my brain, literally all it does is think of creative stuff all the time, and I can't control it. And Trevor knows this better than anyone because I'll
Yeah.
text him all the time, like, "Dude, I have this idea." And he's like, "Dude, where do you come up with this stuff? This is so
Yeah.
cool." And,
Yeah.
like, this creepypasta thing, I'm not kidding y'all. We may have even talked about it before, maybe, but, like, it's been
We couldn't
brewing
achieve it
inside of
though.
us for, like, a year, and
Yeah,
we
it was
literally have been waiting for the weather to get nice to do a lot of these videos because we need
it's
good
just one of
weather
those
for it.
things. Like, you
And
can't
when
do it
oh,
in the middle of winter, you know? Like, cameras don't work in winter, gimbals don't like it, like, people don't like cold. I don't like cold. But now that it's, like, going back into springtime, it's also, like, if we did it, say, this month at any point, the foliage is starting to come back alive, but it still looks dead and withered too from the winter. So it's like it's that really cool like transition where everything is like kind of dead, kind of not. Like it just adds the spookiness for me.
Yeah, exactly. Just like how the fall colors are spookier than the summer colors.
Yep.
So, I mean, we're just super excited for all these
That's what
ideas
guys.
we have and what's to come and the guests that are coming. And we just love y'all so much.
Just a
Honestly, it means
couple
a
of
lot. Like
mid-mitteners.
we're so excited about the bumpies, like the
Oh,
ideas.
that's been a labor of love for a long period of time. That's like that's one of our chef kiss. Like we honed and crafted as much as we could to try to make sure that we are excelling at that point in that like department, because the bumpies are it's exactly what they're meant to be, an entertainment source to show you how fun this is for us to just be like, we want to give back, but in the most ridiculous way possible. At least that's it for me, where it's like, I love it.
Yeah, and to know where the bumpies were last year to where it was literally a complete just off the cuff
180.
like live stream with nobody watching, and then now we know that we'll at least have all of you guys watching us live. It's so cool because like the growth to like see it organically has been incredible.
It
And how
didn't.
many connections we made.
Nobody around us thought it was gonna take off or have any traction. Like Jenna even would walk into the room while we were like being ridiculous, and just look at us and just be like, I don't even know what to think. It's like I'm fucking here for it. That's what makes it fun, when you can just be silly and just enjoy it. It's the best.
Yeah, I still remember the first time we came up with the Rick and Billy like idea.
I was crying.
And
I was fucking crying.
we just literally we got done like doing the skit and we're laughing so hard that like it was like to the point where you can't breathe. You know what I mean?
And it's
You're
like
just,
this has to come back. Like we can't let that one go away. As soon as like I think you said like we should do like a news skit. And I was like, add that like jingle where it's like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, like the busting music. It's like at that point we just fucking ran. Like that spool had already started unwinding and we just followed it. And it turned into what it is, and it's amazing. Like my favorite part too is like Noelle said it, like the commercials. I was actually talking to Riley about this earlier, where it's like if nobody's gonna sponsor us right now or like like do any of that donating, and we talk about their companies or their stuff, we just make our own, where it's like like bump seal. Like I slap that shit on everything. Whap. Like, and just do like commercials like that where it's like doesn't need to, but it's ridiculous and I love it and it's fucking hilarious. Okay, and I'm so sorry. We didn't know what fucking leveling was audio at that point. So it was fucking us talking, and then it was turn that bitch up. We got 20 more decibels to go. Yeah, and I mean now we got it dialed in, but I don't know, dude. There was just something about like that first, was it the shipwrecks one? We did that was the first skit we ever did. And just how
it started the episode. I'm about to play it right now.
please, because we just discussed it a little bit and we didn't even write a script. We just did it. If it loads. Oh, is it playing?
Lost at sea.
We have a long journey ahead of us, lads.
Aye, Captain. What's that port side, Captain?
Alas, Davy Jones has sent one of his creatures to take us to the grimy deeps. Crew, man the cannons! Battle stations! She's taking the ship!
Captain, what is it?
It's only the most foul creature in all of the open waters. It is the Kraken.
Oh no, the Kraken, you say? We
say?
need the dynamite!
It sounds like
We're
toothpick.
taking water, Captain.
It's been good sailing with you lads. I'll see y'all and this damned creature in Davy Jones' locker.
And that is another beautiful.
It sounds awful, but like A1 voice acting. I didn't know I could do a Scottish accent so well. I lost that one. That one fell way deep in the vault. It went from that to completely southern. Like
I
you want to
wanna
hear
find
Texas? Oh,
the first Rick and Billy skit. I have a recap
Or-
of all of them.
I say or another really good one is when I did that whole Western accent when he was in the jail. There was a skinwalker.
Oh, the Skinwalker episode.
that was a good one too. Where it's like, let me get my grub and I'm gonna go home.
I think that was the first Bumpies actually too.
Was it really? That's so wild. There's something about being able to like artistically do this because like I was never one for theater. I was never one for, like just like doing the acting in front of a camera. But like there was something about being in front of a camera that I did enjoy. And then being able to act like this, where it's like, oh, like I can talk with my voice and do acting, sick. And then when we do our skits, like we don't have to talk if we don't want to. Like no words have to be spoken. Also, for all of you in the chat, we didn't write a single thing of that down. That was all 100% off the cusp. Like
All
we
improv, that
literally
entire-
improv'd it. And that's how I think all but one have gone. All but one. And one is only because like we wanted to factually get some things right. And I think we still fucked it up.
Yeah, I think that was the UFO one
Yep.
where we played the actual audio in it.
And then we still got the fucking info wrong, even though they just said it.
Yeah.
Happens.
Gosh,
Like,
what episode was it that Rick
know.
and Billy first appeared?
dude, golly. Out of the 189, 90 that we have now, I would think it would have to be within the 50s, like 30s to 50s, probably. But I could be so wrong. We have so many topics that we've covered that I'm afraid to like cover a topic again.
I think it was Bigfoot.
Mom, you should be on screen too. Well, it might have been Bigfoot. I don't know, dude. Like, do you ever get like not FOMO, but like worried that we're gonna miss out on certain topics? I guess FOMO is the right word to use there. But like also that we might re-topic something that we've already covered and like completely 180 like our opinions on it and not even realize we've already covered it. Sometimes I feel that way. But also it's like my opinion does change. Like I'm just going to throw that out there too. Like things do definitely like when information is presented change the basis for where I lie. Oh, I can see the digging in your eyes so hard. I can see the flashes of the light where it's like it's somewhere. Like,
I'm
it's
just gonna
fucking
play this.
somewhere.
This will be the first to the last one.
Oh my god.
Special to the special episode. And without further ado,
Oh, we played that off our phone. Our opinions did change on demons.
Hello and welcome to WGB ITN Channel 10 Nightly News. This is your host, Rick Van Winkle, and on today's top story, little gray men flying in space cars? Billy, is the prompter working correctly?
Yeah, I did that right.
Okay then. Little gray men flying in space cars. Go ahead with the audio, Billy.
All right, sure thing, Rick.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. knots in the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
We played the whole thing.
Billy, what's that light above me? I see the tall gray man! Oh!
And then just cut that. So you mean to tell me that there's 16 minutes of just Rick and Billy riffing?
Hello and welcome back to WGB ITN Channel 10 Nightly News. This is your host, Rick Van Winkle. And tonight, we have our very special assistant out in the field in Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Point Pleasant.
Billy.
Hey, how's it going, Rick? I'm out here in West Virginia. West Virginia mountains, take me home, mama. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's right, Billy. Take me home, country roads. Now, what are we doing out on these country roads?
Well, they be saying they seen a giant moth in the sky out here, and I'm out here with lanterns trying to attract them to me.
Did I hear that right, Billy? Did you say giant moth?
Giant moth, yeah, he's at about 10-foot wingspan out here.
Does it have any relation to a man, Billy?
You can hear
Well, they don't know. He's got red eyes, though.
Must be from all the devil's lettuce it must be ingesting there, Billy. Or at least that must be what it eats, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what else does a moth eat?
Flesh?
I don't know, but I see something red in the sky. Oh, it's getting closer. Oh, I'm running. I'm running. Oh, my God.
Billy?
Yeah, dude, such good mouth.
Billy? Well, on that, we'll see you again next time, folks. This has been WGB ITN Channel 10 Nightly News, and this has been your host, Rick Van Winkle, and we will surely be hearing from Billy again soon, hopefully.
Hopefully. I like how you can hear the thump, like the space bar when it plays it.
Hello and welcome to WGB ITN Channel 10 Nightly News. This is your host, Rick Van Winkle. And tonight, we have Billy on the scene of disappeared children.
Okay, pause it.
Yeah.
That one's bad.
That one was, I know that one. That one was bad. There's a few that were not great.
There's
Like
a
we
few
said,
that are pretty cringe, but
it
they're
was
still
riffing.
funny.
We riffed the whole time. It was off the fucking dome. And like some of them, you can literally hear us fighting back the tears of laughter. If I see, I'm just going to do one of these, right? If I'm sitting in my chair looking at Riley and he's looking back at me across the table as we're doing this, and he goes, "Well, what's up, now?" You tell me how fucking hard that is to keep your composure. I have to like.
Thank you, Billy.
Like, I cannot look at that man as he does that voice. Oh my God, yeah, that's how Rick and Billy were conceived and have come about until now. A little pulling back the veil.
Yep, that's how that happened and how
We broke the
Bumpies
fourth wall.
and yeah, it's how these characters, alter egos, were created.
I mean, I love the idea of having them interview a few guests.
We have talked about doing that, surprisingly.
It's one of those like I have to get into that mindset and that mood of like that egotistical, like I gotta be pompous as fuck and then talk really TV voice for like an hour or two. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
The last video we did, the 4 minutes and 33 seconds one, that was the
It
breaking
took
news.
so
about the
many
Bumpies.
times.
It took us a lot of takes because we were just dying laughing the entire time because of
It
how
would get through two
It's
words
like
and it would be like,
trying to film like the most cheesiest thing ever with a straight face is so hard, especially when the other person's just sitting there just dying laughing.
even a smirk will get me. Like if I just look over and I get a like, I'm like, what's that shitty grin for?
That's why we get so
Oh my
excited about
God. It I love it. This is exactly why I do this. You know what I mean? This is exactly why I do this.
Yeah.
It's just so
We
much
haven't
fun.
got to show off some of this hidden lore stuff and like ever on the episode. We used to.
No.
If you guys didn't know, like every what was it, 25 episodes, we would review
we
every
would-
episode we did.
Yep. We'd rip it back into like what we had just covered and what we liked, what we didn't like, you know, other whatever we wanted to talk. We would like I guess you could call these State of the Unions, where we would
Yeah.
just like address everything we wanted to and nothing at all.
Kind of a lot like today's episode.
Very much.
We used to do them like every 25 episodes. And then
I
we
don't hate it though, because it like I like clearing the air. I like to settle things down and be like, this is where we stand. This is where I stand, at least. Like, I'm not gonna speak for anybody else, but like, you know, this is where I stand on situations. Like, this is how I feel about things. Like, just to like clear it. That way everybody knows. And then like to be able to be like, oh, we got this coming up. We have these ideas. Like, not a bad deal.
We could bring that back.
I don't hate it. Probably not every 25. I think maybe like every 50. And then, you know, like 50 State of the Union, 100 State of the Union, maybe bumpies, but like now that we'll make it to the 200 mark, I don't know if we do it every 100 still or if we extend that to be like, well, now let's give ourselves a
thing.
yeah, like let's give ourselves like just like a certain date where like now let's just try to pump out numbers, or if we do decrease volume in a slight bit, like it's not gonna hurt anything and it's not gonna like mess up deadlines or anything. Like set soft caps, not hard caps. At least that's how I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, like we can do whatever the fuck we want. At the end of the day. Which is that's the fun part where it's like I love to be able to just talk. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Like we said, like we want to do a lot of stuff that the podcast started as. We got away from it over the past year and we want to jump back into
Yeah, I want to
where
feel
we're
more
going.
genuine again. Like genuine to where the roots were. Because we planted those roots and those roots got us to where we are now.
What's
That's
up,
for
Butters?
sure. You know, like speaking of butter, fucking churn that shit. Churn it. Fucking churning shit. You've missed a whole conversation of how we were gonna roll at a What Goes Bump the Night butter brand. Our ideas are now going to also include, when we get in office, a giant vat of butter that we just churn when we want to think of good ideas.
Yep.
That's what you missed. Basically, there's a lot more riff-raffing in between. We listened to some things. We did some other stuff.
We talked about demons. We talked about aliens. We talked about
Talked about
true
aliens for like
crime.
45
Talked
minutes.
about we've covered everything and anything today.
We
Missed a whole
did.
lot.
We did talk about a lot. We didn't talk about like ancient Sumerians or like the Egyptians and the Anunnaki yet. Like we can
What do
go
you
there.
know? That's right on schedule.
Well, it just so happens that when you bring that up, water erosion on the Sphinx is bullshit. Like, oh no. Here we fucking go. I don't know, dude. Like I live for moments where I just get to express how passionate I am about the macabre and like all these really off the wall things. Because on a daily basis, I listen to a lot of stuff like at work where I just put in a headphone, a podcast about anything, anywhere. And it's like, that's intriguing as fuck. I had no idea. You know, it's one of those. And oh boy, radio rental. I'm just going to throw this out there. If you guys have never heard of it, it is a style of podcast that I have been really into lately. And if you guys have personal stories that you want to type up into a PDF form and send in to us and then have us read, or if you want to like Skype me and like record like a story and I will do like an interview but not be part of that, like you just tell your story, I have ideas. That's all I got to say. Got a lot of ideas brewing.
Yeah.
Once
we
again,
definitely do.
churning butter.
We're just gonna keep it going for y'all. It's a never stopping train. We're unstoppable.
Yeah.
We're going
I
to
mean,
do so much.
the moss already gathered on the one side of the rock, and that fucker is rolling.
It's rolling
Dude.
downhill.
Ghostorama. Butter says it again. Once again, 85% of the chat now is going to be at Ghostorama. I'm so fucking excited. Like, it is going to be a goddamn blast to just actually get to hang out. Oh, and then you didn't get to see this either. We have a fucking card game that Riley made that we're most likely going to be playing
That goes
at
wrong.
Ghostorama. Maybe we'll do like a $5 ante-in. Winner take all. Fucking pay up, bitches.
We got $5. Get you into the what goes bump in the night trading card game tournament.
It was a long motherfucking drive. Not even. It actually isn't that far from us. Like, it is probably what, 4 hours, 4.5 hours, something like that.
It's like 2.5, dog.
It's only like 2.5. I thought it was farther than that, but see, that ain't even nothing, dog. That ain't nothing.
Slaps money on table.
With pink slips. You want a card? You want to take home the cards? Fucking ante up. I don't know. I'm a degenerate, so when I hear gambling, I'm like, hey. I'll lose fair and square, but like, don't be taking my money and shaming me for it. Yeah. But yeah, Ghostorama is going to be a fucking blast, you guys. I mean, what's better than hanging out with a bunch of paranormal investigators, especially ones that are in the chat too, and then getting to investigate a very fucking solid place on top of that. But also, I have never once gone to a Ghostorama and been sad. I'll just say that. This was awesome. Dude, new friends are the best. That's exactly like Riley this is his first attendee to one of these conventions, and I can't fucking wait for this. Are you getting the OG cards out? Oh my god, with the rules too?
With the rules. I want to read y'all the rules since y'all are going to be
Since we
playing.
talked about it earlier.
I will give away this deck at Ghostorama.
That's alpha. Those are alpha cards.
I think it's actually a double deck too. So it's double of every card.
Which makes it, because there was only like to start like 30, 40, 50 cards, if that. And you printed them at home off of your printer and cut them out by hand. That's how alpha those bitches are. Like, if we were going to sell
And I put them in
magic cards.
And I put them in like
the penny sleeves. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I'm saying, dog. If somebody got their hands on them, got them bitches like I don't want to say graded because you can't grade those. There's no grading.
We'll see. I might. I have another deck that might be the one I give away.
I have an old deck too that you gave me that's like alpha beta, like the beta set.
We'll see. That one's kind of special. But I'll read the rules.
My God, there is a fucking lot of rules.
It's not really, it's just the text. So this is the synopsis here. In this card game, there will be dice and a deck of cards. These cards will have categories listed. Investigator cards, cryptic cards, location cards, and device cards. Using these categories, it's up to you to solve and capture what goes bump in the night at these locations. This can get scary fast as you roll. Locations can have multiple spirits and cryptics running amok and cursing up the joint. You must roll a gun until you are able to match your investigators with the necessary devices to capture evidence of the paranormal happenings. Players who solve the most investigations win a Bumpy Award presented by Rick Van Winkle himself. To start the game, you will need to place investigators, spirits / cryptic cards, locations, and devices in separate decks. Then each player will grab an investigator, spirit, or a cryptic and location, and a dice to use to mark and score curses. This will be the first of many investigations players will have to solve. Next, to decide who goes first, they'll roll, and that's basically it. And then you read. When you roll, you solve from left to right. So you read from investigator to the device. So like if you roll a 1 and your investigator and location have 1 on them, then you only do those actions. You don't do any of the other cards that you don't have a dice that matches. Sometimes you only want one to match up. Sometimes all three of them are going to match up and it'll fuck you sideways. New cards are not in play until after a roll. If an investigator was cursed on the previous roll and the player rolls the same number the investigator was already cursed on and was not at play, so the curse doesn't happen. New investigators at a location can be cursed. Investigators are free to move pieces and can be moved to other locations to solve unless they are cursed. If they are cursed, they must stay at location for the duration of the curse. Devices cannot solve an investigation without an investigator. When evidence is captured, the investigator must return to the deck and a new investigator will be drawn. When a spirit or cryptic card is drawn, they must remain at that location unless actioned differently by the device. Devices will be earned by rolling the correct ability from select cards. If an investigator has cursed, devices cannot be used to capture spirits or cryptids.
Okay.
So that's basically how the game works. I think Trevor's going to play a role here.
Yep. So I roll the d6. You look at your cards, investigator, device. Oh, I grabbed the wrong thing. But if I can fucking find one. There's so many cards. But then location. If I can find one really quick. And then, yeah, here we go. Eloise. So then you would look to see. All right. There's sixes here, here, and here. You start here. Randy hit his head and spoke in tongues, summoning a spirit. So you would get a spirit card. That wouldn't come into play until the next turn. Then the sacrifice was successful but didn't go as planned. Discard investigator and draw a new one. So discard one, get a new one. Then 6. An evil spirit was conjured by the devil. Worshippers draw one spirit or cryptic. So you'll have a hand. Your goal is to get this done and then basically create a pile and then say like,
and you basically have to earn a device. Eventually, a card that you have will say grab a device. So you grab a device and then you'll try to solve it.
Yep. And you can stack cryptics in locations or you can move them to other locations.
Or you can stack investigators in locations or devices on locations. Just know that when you're playing and the more cards you stack on each other, the more difficult you make it on yourself sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So it's like kind of like a little bit of strategy too, because like it's all luck of the dice. It's fun. It's crazy. We've played it for hours, and it was one of those like, wow, I can't believe that we just spent 3 hours, and I didn't even realize we just spent 3 hours playing this, and you made it.
Yeah. So
that's the craziest part.
It's super exciting. It's a lot of fun. We hope at Ghostorama you guys have fun playing with it because we brought it to the last Ghostorama we went to. But
nobody
it was so
played
windy
it,
and we couldn't play it.
Yeah, it was impossible. That was the sad part. It was completely impossible.
So hopefully this next time we can find a spot inside the mansion and we can sit down and demonstrate a game and then have some people jump in on it.
Oh yeah, and like I mean, honest to God, like I've played it twice now and I still play it wrong. So like it's one of those fresh things where it's like we'll all learn together. Like Riley has this brainchild and it worked out so fucking perfectly. And it's not clunky. Like that's the fun part is like I don't know how you thought of all of those to work together so well, like and all the combinations. Like beats me. It fucking works.
It's not perfect, but there's definitely some
good.
It works good enough to where it's playable.
Like as long as it's not impossible to clear, like I would call those dungeons at that point, like it's not broken. You know what I mean? Like we had games where both of us were like neck and neck, where I would have like 5 or 6 like investigations done and you'd have like 5 or 6 and we'd be like close to the end of the large deck of cards that we were going through. And you made it so it's all like equal. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything has an equal.
Yeah, there's less device cards.
But that's by design. Like,
Yeah,
you
'cause
know,
they're
like
supposed to be
location and
hard.
investigators. Exactly. Yeah, it's by design for sure. But like you know what I meant. Where it's like it all works out numbers wise, where it's like it's not too little, it's not too much, it's perfect. And that's just a little bit like Ghost Drama is gonna be a fucking blast. That's coming up. What day is it again?
May 11th.
May 11th. That's right. May 11th at the fucking Mansion.
Yeah, and it's completely free. There's no money. No
Yeah,
money.
pre-event. If you want to investigate, I'm pretty sure it costs money. But
Yeah, investigation costs a little bit.
I don't know if the investigation's sold out or not either. But we'll figure that out once we get there. That's one of those things where I don't run it. I'm just super excited to go. And everybody that does run it and everybody that is a part of Ghostorama are fucking fantastic people. And you should 100% go shake their hands because they do this out of the kindness of their hearts. And they put these events on just to bring awareness to the locations, to help bring revenue in, to help keep places alive. And not only that, but to just be a part of the community. And there's nothing better than to give back to a community of people that like, you know, like graciously welcome you in to be able to do this stuff. So
Yeah, and I believe isn't there going to be a Ghost Drama at the Van Buren County Poorhouse too in the summer?
I believe so. There is going to be a second one following this one, and it's going to be later in the season.
And
but
then
I
there's also
didn't know
that
when.
the restaurant that Tommy went to too. Is
Oh
that
yeah, the Le Fleur. No,
La
yeah,
Fleur?
it's something French. It's Le something. I know exactly what you're saying. I can't think of the name of it. Where he caught that really wild, residual energy and that fucking
Motion detector thing.
and the thing shaking
Yeah, yeah. The light.
the
Motion.
machine too. The
Oh,
slot
the
machine. Yeah, the slot machine. Yeah,
thing.
that was also
There we
yeah.
go. Dweeb's always got us.
Yeah, like you guys are fucking godsends. Thank you. Yeah, June 15th. That's awesome. See, it's stuff like this, and I, honestly, like we might be able to make that one, depending. Like I don't know. Like I have to look at the calendar still. It's right around a weekend where we might have something going on too. Like I'm not sure. I know we have some things planned for this summer that is like you know like collaborations and you know secret locations and things like that. So we just have to make sure that the books line up because, like Riley said earlier, we plan on doing a lot of investigations, but we have to cut back somewhere. So. And we said the lives we're probably at a good point to where we can slow them down and bring back the content that we enjoyed. And I know you guys enjoy these, but I mean, shoot, who doesn't like a good story every now and again? That's the other thing is I have so many dates in my brain that I can't remember which one is which.
We will collab, Butters. We'll definitely. Well,
Oh,
we
easily.
can consider the Ghost Rama a collab too because we'll be around.
Yeah, like that might be a mega collab with a bunch of creators, but like I have no problem either like collaborating at a location like anywhere else or like if we can get into somewhere where it like benefits both of us to like meet up in the middle or something or however it works out. Like by all means, I love investigating with peeps. It's always really cool to see how people operate and then, you know, like what we could do differently to improve our investigating styles or like to just further our research because that's really what we're doing is researching. Janelle, all the collabs.
Chad, do you have any questions about anything we've brought up today, like about the future of the show that we could clear the air on?
Yeah, or
Maybe-
any suggestions. Like always open to
suggestions, yeah.
suggestions. Because like we said, you guys make the wheels go around. Like if there's something that you guys are like dying for us to cover or something. Yeah, you guys do need a redemption arc of not running away for something. But I mean, to everybody was screwed that night.
There's lots of places we could go, Butters.
Oh
Lots
yeah,
of places.
yeah. I want to do something that's like how do I want to say like more established of a location that's like larger than just that property too, because it's like I want it to be worth it. You know, I don't ever want to collab with somebody and then we just like have to be like, well, I'm sorry, nothing happened. I still had a blast because we got to meet.
I'd like there to be no
meet-
limitations on a collab.
That too. Like there are definitely no stipulations or limitations whatsoever. It's just like I'd feel bad if we brought somebody somewhere and it didn't didn't, you know what I mean?
I don't know about that place.
I love jails. That's
I
all I
love
gotta
jails too,
say.
but I know nothing about it, so you have to give us the 411.
Eloise does do private
They're
investigation,
very
but it's
expensive
expensive.
for not a lot of
Like
hours and a long drive.
7 hours or something, 6 hours
Yeah,
of
you might get 6
investigation.
hours, I think, for $600. It's worth it, but it's also like a lot of money.
And it's also such a large location that I'd rather
I
like
need more
double
time.
my time if I could.
Because I could see myself spending 3 hours just on the
Walking
one
up and
floor.
down the stairs alone takes an hour. That's not even a dead fucking joke. Like that is like legitimately, it takes an hour to get to the top to the bottom if you're going up and down because you're looking for the ghosts.
And you're gonna find yourselves on certain floors for a long period of time because some are way more active than others.
Completely fair. Yeah, and then as far as like the content goes, like yeah, if there's like if you guys are itching for more true crime, like me and Riley to do a deep dive on a true crime, or like for us to do another like disappearance episode, or like just like deep dive
No,
a
cryptic has
location
been a
we've
big one.
been.
Cryptic has a lot.
Yeah, we're really wrapping our brains around like what we could cover that isn't a mainstream, but like also has enough information that we could do a deep dive into it. So if anybody has any information on something that like there is a substantial amount of stuff or like a very good amount of like firsthand stories that we could use as cannon fodder. I mean, and I know as far as like Jen and I go to, like I know we wanted to do more like true crime talks too, and like do some more out of the book that she had too. So like that was always in the works, but it's always one of those things where it's like everything's got to line up. Ooh, Corpsewood Manor. See, it's stuff like that.
I'd never heard of that till just this moment.
I was just gonna say I need a piece of paper and I'm gonna write that down because it's stuff like that where it's like yeah. Like there was a good period of time where we just didn't know what to cover anymore because we had covered so much that it just worked out really well to continue doing the lives and like put a little more of what we really liked doing at the beginning on the back burner because it was time to not restructure but like reload the gun with different ammo. Like we had hollow points, now we have high velocity. Now we're gonna go back to hollow
we went
point.
to the next caliber is what we did.
Yep.
And now we're trying to be a double barrel shotgun. That's our
I like
look right
that.
now.
I love that analogy a lot, actually.
We went from an
Being
AR.
a pea shooter.
We went from a 22 to an AR to double barrel shotgun, 12 gauge, fully loaded.
Fully loaded combat kit with the tack light on the bottom and everything.
Double barrel bull pump. That's what we're at now, folks.
That's that Modern Warfare 2. Like you fuck around and find out if you find me on Rust. You.
Yeah, we dual wielding them double barrel shotguns now, folks.
That's when you take the dual vectors and just got him
with the churning butter on our side.
Yeah, so I mean like I love this. See, this is why having chat is seriously the greatest thing ever because we can get a little bit more information on what people want to hear about or like 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 the Jason Sands thing. I had no fucking idea there was a new whistleblower. Fucking incredibly awesome.
Today, so it's not surprising that we didn't know, but
true.
But anyways, we're close to that 2-hour mark, so I think we should probably wrap her up for tonight.
Definitely. So I think we touched and didn't touch everything we needed to.
No, we definitely didn't. But we will be back next week with another guest.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Bree Hollingshed on the show. You probably know her. She's very popular on the social medias. Super excited to talk to her. She's really good friends with Mike from what we learned as well a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
So we're excited to have her on the show. The Shape dropping in. What's going on, buddy?
Throw them W's up.
We hope you all had a good time hanging out with us in the Paranormal Hangout today.
Yeah,
we'll be
thank
back
you
next
for the
week
2 hours
live
of your time.
in the rest of May and maybe a couple weeks into June here.
Whoop,
so without further ado, folks, remember to hit that like and subscribe button. The support goes a long way. Comment Let us know what
Interaction
you
helps.
want to see next as a episode. And we will get that done for y'all. It's up to you. Let us know in the comments. Remember, folks, keep your ears and eyes open for the goes.
Bump in the night.
Peace.
Mwah. You guys are the greatest.
Whoop, whoop.